Hello, everyone. I'm Rogerio. I'm from the middleware team, and today I'm going to talk about peer-to-peer NFT Marketplace, a curated one. So we have three things to explore here. To be curated, it's not open for everyone. It's peer-to-peer, and it's a marketplace, but NFTs can represent anything. So actually, we are talking about an opportunity to deploy any headless e-commerce. So it's up and ready to run it on Eternity blockchain. We're going to start talking about why peer-to-peer, the marketplace ecosystem, what are the software pieces involved, some building guidelines that I have adopted or that are necessary to build a safe marketplace. I'm going to compare the API that's already provided, that's already available on the middleware, and compare it with the OpenSea API. OpenSea, for those that are not familiar with NFTs, it's the biggest marketplace for NFTs, moving around billions per year. And some API extensions that are already deployed on mainnet and testnet. So let's start with the problem, right? Why peer-to-peer? The first time I came across with this need of escrow agent was when I was selling my car for the first time. I was not trading it for another car, I was selling it. And I have chosen a store that appeared to be a safe one that I could rely. But after I have received the promissory note, and after 1 week without receiving my payment, I started to get worried, right? Because I have not used an escrow agent. I have just received a paper, handwritten paper, like old-fashioned bill. Look, I owe this money for you. And it was a legal paper, but still I haven't felt safe about it. So many businesses, you need an escrow agent that will be the intermediary between the seller and the buyer. And that's what happens with OpenSea. You give them your right for them to manage your NFT, your assets, and actually they trade it from you. Right? Because the price of the NFT, of course, is not on the contract of the collection of the NFT. So they need to have this kind of control of your assets. But this entails some problems, because what about the transparency that actually it's almost the opposite. The buyer wants transparency, to get opportunity to buy any asset. It's not a privilege for certain people, right? And to get access at the same time. And we should have a concern of fairness, of course, as well. And what about the version of the software that the escrow agent is running, right? It should be auditable. You should have the concern that it must be available. And most importantly, the costs. This is the thing that has been changing the market very frequently. What are the fees that they are charging for you to trade the NFTs? And currently there has been a battle in regards to the royalties as well, that I'm going to comment now on this next slide. So as I was talking about the fairness and the transparency, I wouldn't expect that this would happen on NFT trading, but it was just confirmed that an OpenSea employee was getting a privileged access to, or early access to NFTs that would be available and trade them using insider trading strategies to profit more rather than like normal traders, right? And another news that has shown that peer-to-peer approach is a tendency or is a trend that or something that probably should be more explored is that SoFi. I don't need to talk much about this auctions company, right? I think everyone knows it. It's a very traditional one, and it's launching a peer-to-peer NFT marketplace. So they can curate their own collections, but also give power for the traders, or the traders can rely more on the rules that are applied and rely more on decentralized technology, right? That's what we sell. It's safer and more scalable. And lastly, as I was talking about the war in regards to the royalty control, the Blur was banning OpenSea was banning collections that would be sold on OpenSea and vice versa. So the artists started to get penalized about arbitrary decisions from the marketplaces. And this would be the ecosystem. So it's something that everyone is familiar with. You need, of course, to connect buyers and sellers. You need a marketplace, right? Nobody gonna invest on a product that they want to trade if there is no marketplace for it. And on the other side here, on the left side, there are the content creators, NFT studios that what I want to bring here is that generally there is much we don't consider NFTs too much relevant because of the current state of art that's being traded. But there are already serious studios involved, or serious artists involved, or artists that would be selling an art that looks like more what we can find outside of this marketplace, like more traditional art, right? And on the off-chain marketplace, to have a marketplace, you would need to have these three components, right? You need to have an API to get the auctions, to get updated about the auctions, about the bids. You would need to query the collections and NFTs. You would need also to implement the front end for that. And there is a need to certain kind of contract or certain kind of software that establishes the fees that are going to be applied, the version of this software. You need to know if you want to really rely on it, how they control the transfer of the money, how they're going to pay you, and also the advertising control, how they are going to select. What's the policy in choosing what are the collections that are traded, can be traded or not? And when you move to a peer-to-peer decentralized marketplace, first thing, you can get rid of the backend. In the case of Eternity, you can use the Midor API for that. You don't have any of these concerns in regards to changing policies for version control, how they're gonna pay you or not, what fees they're gonna apply, because it would be in a contract that you know, and you can demand that this contract be verified. And also, you wouldn't need neither to implement a backend nor the API to get the updates about this backend, right? Because it's also provided by the middleware. So in regards, and how do you build an alternative for this, right? First, you need to be concerned about atomicity, of course, and there is a need to take care of refunding when some offers are not accepted. You will need anyway to lock and unlock funds if the transfer is not done immediately. Take care of the ownership, of course, transfer in the proper moment these assets and not with 1 month or 1 week of delay. And since it's peer-to-peer or any kind of system like this, of course, you need to have an authorization control, but in peer-to-peer especially, as we're gonna see. And availability you get for free, being peer-to-peer technology, right? Decentralized technology. To retrieve NFTs, it's already available on the middleware. This is the endpoint. We would need only to index the contracts or the collections by the slug. It's a standard that OpenSea has established. We can define ours. It's like an acronym for the collection. Retrieve the NFTs by contract. It's already available. Retrieve NFTs by account. So you can know for certain accounts what are the owned NFTs as well, and filter it by collection, if you will. To get NFT metadata, it's already available. It was deployed yesterday. Thank you, Ivelo. But previously tested on staging, and right, so no worries. And refresh NFT metadata. This is not needed because the metadata is obtained directly from the contract. So this is a workaround that they have implemented on OpenSea that we don't need to use on Eternity blockchain. Continuing the list, retrieve listings. Listings is the name that they use for auctions. So this is a new feature that was implemented on the middleware. It's available on entities, NFT auctions. So with this endpoint, you can get only the auctions that are still active. If you want all the auctions, you can use this one, entry point, and set put listing. You will know when I get to the smart contract which endpoints to use for filtering the activities on the marketplace. So for the listings or the auctions, entities NFT auction, if you want to see the bids are the offers. These names sometimes are tricky, right? So it's not someone that's offering an NFT, but someone is making a bid on an NFT. They call it an offer. And I have used the same nomenclature. It's already available as well. To retrieve the offers, it's available dry running the contract. The same for collection offers. And only one missing endpoint that will be soon available is to filter the NFTs by traits. By the traits are the properties or the attributes that are defined for the NFT. Let's take some CryptoPunk, for example. You want to filter a CryptoPunk which has a green hair. So you can filter by this attribute. and this is the only endpoint that would be missing. So here, as I was saying, so previously we have compared, we have walked through all the GET methods or GET endpoints from the OpenSea API, and we have seen that almost complete mapping. And now we're gonna see the post ones, how to create an auction. With Sophia, it was really, really straightforward to implement these functions. You only need to take care about the ownership. If the person that's creating an auction is the owner of the NFT, make an announcement or emit an event that this auction has been created, and keep the list updated, of course. For the offer, check if the value that's being, the value of the bid is higher than the one that's requested by the owner. Refund a smaller offer. So if someone has made a previous offer, you refund. And the same, announce that something has happened and keep the offer. And lastly, accept the offer. Was very safe, and it's atomic because of the way that blockchain works, and was very easy as well with Sophia. You just need to take care of executing these two operations, which is the one that transfer the money and the other that transfer the NFT, right? When the actual trade happens. So one of the last features that was implemented and missing parts was the curation, because this would be in a peer-to-peer technology and it would be open for anyone, right? That would have the address of this contract. So some access control would be needed. And for us tech guys, the curation of a marketplace would be access control list, right? But for SoFi, probably they have their experts of art experts that gonna decide which collection is gonna be traded or not. Or even here we have very simple rules that work, that might work for the community, for example, checking if the moderators that were defined by the community is allowing a collection. So you need to allow the collection to be traded to avoid trashing, right? Or you set a value, you demand that the person that's trying to allow the collection is paying for it. If someone paid for a collection, but it's still not one that is desired for the marketplace, it can be removed, it can be blocked. And of course, this is gonna generate some revenue, and the content creator can actually hear the moderators are the ones that are responsible or that have the permission to make this withdrawal, but you can have a different list, of course, for funds management. And having a quick look of new endpoints that are available on the middle, because previously you would get only the events. For example, when a trade has happened or when an auction was created, you would need to filter it by the event, but now you can filter by the transaction, with the benefit of having all the transaction data, which includes the value of the transaction, the gas that was paid, the arguments you can see more clearly. It's already decoded, and you know that, okay, an auction was created for this collection, for this NFT with token 1, and the owner is asking for this price. Okay. And here you can filter by the marketplace smart contract. So you can have multiple marketplaces. And on the other side for the offers, the same. Just change here instead of put listing, you use put offer. All of these is already available. All these changes you can get a feed, a live feed for them using the WebSockets of the middleware. You can, as a middleware, besides allowing subscriptions of microblocks, transactions, key blocks, you can also subscribe for an object. So you can subscribe for the address of the marketplace, and whatever change, whatever operation that happens on this marketplace, you would get an update. This is an example of the subscribe object, and you would receive transactions with the same payload as the transactions endpoint. There was something that there are some detailed information on the events endpoint, and now they are decoded in a customized way. So here we can see that the collection, the collection of these events, the listing event, which creates an auction. This is the collection, the NFT collection, this is token ID, and this is the value. So they are all decoded, which makes very straightforward, allows a very straightforward implementation on the headless e-commerce or the NFT marketplace. And this is the binary that you would get without this feature. Okay? So it's much easier now to understand what the values are being passed here on this event. Here the same active entities, so it's an active auction. And the last feature that was implemented was the metadata that I have mentioned. And this is an interesting topic because the NFT standard on Eternity is very powerful. You can represent actually virtually anything as an NFT. Because it has as a metadata an URL, like here, the IPFS where the metadata is, but you can also define an object ID. For example, Marco is working on wrapping names, AES names on an NFT, right? So it can be an object, a name, or it can have even a set of properties that are defined on the state of the contract. And the middleware is decoding this and is replying in this endpoint that I'm going to show now very briefly with a demo. And ta-da! So here we have the NFTs that is what the wallet owns, with the name of the collection, NFT collection, the name of the token and its ID, and it's decoding the metadata that I have just shown. And the metadata is installed, the URL of this image is on IPFS, so you don't need to store, you don't have costs of storing these images, right? And here we can see that there is an NFT that has received an offer because it's Phoenix free. Someone is making a bid of 2 AE, and this NFT actually is for sale here on one of my auctions, and I'm asking 1.9 AE, so I could just accept the offer. And the offers can be shown on a different page, anything. You can have all the flexibility to play around with the front end, but I just wanted to show that all the features that is needed to implement a marketplace is already available on Eternity blockchain, and with a decentralized technology that empowers the community to establish their own rules. That's it. So going back here. Not here, just show. Yeah. The smart contract of the marketplace is already available here for the public. And it surprised me a lot how could I implement a full feature marketplace with less than 200 lines of code. So congratulations, the Node team as well.